Okay, this is 5.2. We're going to be talking about negative exponents. You cannot have negative exponents. It's not simplified. So you have to make it positive. How do you do that? Well, it's very simple. This is just like 5 to the negative 2 over 1. And you just take the reciprocal, 1 over 5 squared. When you flip it, the negative exponent becomes positive. So what's your step? Flip it. That's your step. Flip it. Flip it good. Crack that whip. Oh, it's whip it. So now this is not simplified. So this becomes 1 over 25. That's all you do. When you have a negative exponent, it has to move. Wherever it is in the fraction has to move. Every number, it has to flip. Every number can be written as a fraction. So 6 to the negative third is 1 over 6 to the third. We cannot have 6 to the third, so 6 to the third becomes 216. So this becomes 1 over 216. This x to the negative 5 is just like x to the negative 5 over 1. So now I have to flip this. This becomes 1 over x to the 5th power. Now, what happens when you only have one number with, or one letter with a negative exponent? Well, you just move the 1. So y to the negative 2 has to move to the bottom, to the denominator. So x to the 4th stays on top. Y squared moves to the bottom. That's all we're doing. If you have a negative exponent, you must move it. If it's in the numerator, you must move it to the denominator. If it's in the denominator, you must move it to the numerator. So here, there's a 1 on bottom. B to the negative 7 must move down. C to the negative 1 must move down. A to the 5th power gets to stay on top. B to the 7th moves. C to the 1 moves. And that's your answer. There it is. So, what's that? It's a negative 7, but when I move it, it becomes positive 7. When you move it, it becomes positive. Okay? It is negative up here, but when it goes to the bottom, it becomes b to the positive 7, c to the positive 1. Just like here. When I move this upstairs, 2 to the negative 4th power equals 2 to the 4th power, which equals 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So this x to the negative 3 has to move up, so it becomes x to the 3rd power. All you're doing is moving the exponent. So let's go. Oh, that's all we're doing. That's the end of this video. Great. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions, please come in and ask. Love you. Have a nice day. Oh, bye-bye. Sorry, I said bye-bye. I didn't mean it. Because we got to move on to number 13. What happens when you have the same number on top and bottom? Well, that becomes different. If I have 4 over 4, what does that become, kids? 1. So, here I have 5 x's on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many x's do I have on bottom? So, each of these x's is going to cancel. How many x's do I have left? And is it on top or bottom? It's on top. That's what we're doing. But let me show you a simple way. Bring small to big. What does that mean? Bring the smaller number to the bigger number. So same numbers on top or bottom. What's smaller, 2 or 5? 2. Now, when this moves across the fraction bar, what happens to it? It changes the sign. It becomes negative 2. So this goes away, and now I have 1. What is 5 minus 2? 1x to the 3rd. All right? So you just move small to big. If you move small to big, you don't have to worry about where it's at, top or bottom. All right? Let's go on to the next one. Hold on. All right, we're going to do one of these practice, and then I'm going to be done with the recording. So if you have any questions, feel free to come in. Okay, so here, look. I have X's here. They're the same. I have Y's here. They're the same. So I'm going to do what I said. I'm going to bring small to big. That means my 2 comes up, and it's going to become -2, and it goes away. My 3 comes up. It's going to become -3, and it goes away. So that leaves me x to the 3rd power, y to the 1st power. Bam! I'm done. What happens when you get numbers? Well, you simplify them first. Let's go to 22. Where's the negative at here, kids? Well, the negative goes, I put it with the top number, but it doesn't matter. In your calculators, go 6 divided by 12. What's 6 divided by 12? So I put a 2. Now, small to big. 4 is smaller than 6, so 4 comes up. Oh, it's not 2. Why would you kids lie to me? Small to big. So the only thing I'm going to have on bottom is my 2. 6 minus 4 is x squared. 4 minus 3 is y to the 1. Easy, breezy, lemon peasy. This is very simple. You have to practice this, and you have to remember, small to big. When the exponent crosses the fraction bar, it changes signs. All right, so now I truly am done, kids. Okay, I'm wrong. Again, I'm wrong. Let's look at 27. Now, 27, you can actually just put in your calculator. But again, I'm going to bring small to big. So, kids, what's smaller, 5 or -2? Now, when -2 crosses the fraction bar, it changes to a positive. So this is +2. So this equals -2 to the 7th power. What is -2 to the 7th power? Please put it in parentheses. -128. Small to big, I'm going to bring the 3 down, so it's going to become -3. So now let's go back. Look here. Look at number 23. I'm going to bring small to big, so that means -2 is going to come up to the 6. When the -2 comes up, what does it become? +2. The -3 is going to go down. It becomes +3. 33 divided by 3 is 11. So I have y to the 8th on top over x to the 12th on bottom. So be careful of negative exponents. They change signs. Now, remember how I told you can just write them out? You can, but you got to be careful with the negatives. Because here, this is going to be 1 over 6. But if I write out x to the -6, that means I have -6 x's. They don't cancel. A negative x over a positive x does not cancel out. So that's why it's better just to go 1 over 6, small to big, that means +6 minus 3. And then I cross it out. Once I move it, I cross it out. So this is y to the 5th power, x to the, what is that, 13th? Yep. All right, kids, if you have any questions, please feel free to come in. I think we are done now. Yes, we're done. All right, love you. Bye-bye.